What's good, everyone? This is your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. So clearly you see the title of the broadcast. And yes, apparently Bishop Marvin Winans has gone viral for a situation. And the church has been under scrutiny for quite some time now within the past, definitely since the turn of the 21st century. And, you know, for situations like this to pop up, it has to be actually investigated. It has to be talked about. It has to be understood. You know, as a preacher's kid, certain things just were not done back in the day or kind of presented in a certain way. So we're about to dive off into this. Let's go here now, people. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church, of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Yeah. Now, growing up in church as a preacher's kid and also visiting multiple churches back in the day, you know, in Church of God in Christ and also other churches, stuff like that. I've never heard preachers speak like this, even if they were, you know, taking up the benevolent fund or the building fund, things like that. If people came and presented what they could to, you know, further their church home along, it was always appreciated out here. I don't know what this is.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
I'm sorry, I can't get with it. I can't get with it. You're not supposed to place a number at all. I don't care what circumstances you want to talk about, what type of stipulations you want to add in, think that you can, you know, dynamically put your specific amount on this, or you have the, no, that's not even how Jesus works. God said he only wants 10% from you. That's in the Bible. So I don't know what these people are talking about out here. This is ridiculous, bro. And this is sad that we're at this point right here. So we're going to keep going. Because, yes, it gets worse. So we're going to hear some factors here, and then we're going to dive off into what other people have to say about this situation here. You know, shit. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
But first, we need to clear up a major misunderstanding that's gone viral on social media.
On Sunday, Pastor Marvin Winans hosted a day of giving. Members of Perfecting Church were asked to donate $1,000 and raise another $1,000 to help finish the new sanctuary in Detroit and support their community programs. Pastor Winans asked those giving $2,000 or more to come to the front of the church first, with others following, from the largest donors to those donating as little as $1.62. But one member, Roberta McCoy, went viral after someone posted video of her coming to the front with less than $2,000, claiming she was rebuked by Pastor Winans. I spoke exclusively with both Pastor Winans and Roberta McCoy, who says she's been attacked online since that video began spreading. You're the woman in that viral.
Now, hold up now. I don't agree with that. Now, why are you attacking her? See, that's crazy. That's foolish. Now, that is foolish. Why are you attacking her online? She came up to the front of the line, the front of the congregation gracefully, and decided to donate what she could. Listen, look, man, you people need to stop attacking innocent people. That's crazy. That's totally crazy.
Video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction, because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you're called. And that's all that was.
Roberta told me Pastor Winans personally apologized to her. She's been a member of Perfecting Church since 2013 and has given faithfully over the years and will continue to do so.
So, yeah, it is what it is. So you have specific lines for specific amounts of money that your congregation is supposed to give.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Let's just let that sink in. Let's just let that sink in. You have certain lines that everybody needs to get in when they have certain amounts of money that they're going to donate. I've never heard of this growing up in church. This was never even a thought process. If you came to donate whatever the ministry needed you to donate for, whatever funds, stuff like that, you donated. And then on top of that, nobody knew what you was donating. That's the reason why we had envelopes in tithes and offering and stuff like that when they passed out the collection place and stuff like that. All this calling people to a line to donate, and you're announcing how much these people are donating. What is this? I'm sorry, people, but I don't agree with none of this hot mess out here. This is ridiculous, and this is shaming people. Like it or not. Nobody's supposed to know what anybody else is donating inside that building. But the people that are taking in the money are supposed to let you know what this money is going towards. And they're supposed to show you records. They're supposed to be communicating with the congregation on how much is spent, where it's spent, what time it was spent, and everything. Cut the crap.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
This don't make no sense. See, this is new age stuff. I didn't grow up in a church like this. The churches I grew up in, where my father was pastoring and also visiting and stuff like that, the churches were communicating with their congregation. They weren't trying to take them fast. Oh, you got 1,000, you need to stand in this line. Oh, you got $10, you need to stand in that line. What the fuck is this? Sorry. Shit, man. I Lord geez, please help me. I'm trying to stop using foul language on my videos, but woo-wee, stupidity is just running rampant out here. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. Jesus, man. All right, so we're gonna keep going here. Because this is wild to me. I didn't grow up like this. I don't know nothing about this type of way of doing church. Because this is what this is. This is doing church. You're not having service. This is doing church. Let's keep going.
Pastor, that's what you call a pimp. You hear me? And as soon as I sat in that pulpit, I would have canceled that check effective immediately. Let's be honest and let's be clear. Every Sunday, a lot of those pastors stand in the front of their congregation and they use that Bible as a weapon and literally commit highway robbery. Most of those churches are literally committing the biggest heist every Sunday in a neighborhood near you. There's no reason why your pastor should be driving a Bentley and you pulling up in a church parking lot in a buggy. There's no reason why you should be giving all of your savings, all of your 401k, all of your bill money to the church because you call yourself trying to buy blessings. That was not in the Bible, at least the one that I read. See,
Right.
Here's the thing. A lot of people nowadays are beginning to question religion. They are questioning God, and a lot of people are beginning to walk away from the church because of exactly what we've seen with Pastor Winans, right? Say what you want, but that man was absolutely disrespectful. It was uncalled for, and the embarrassment was totally out of this world.
Listen, look, the thing of this is yes, the embarrassment was out of this world. And the truth of the matter, because and I'm gonna keep stressing it, I grew up with real scripture being taught to us in church, in service. Not we just went in there having church. We was having service. And the thing of this is that when the Lord said, bring your tithe and offering, it wasn't just about money. It was also about storing things at the church. A lot of y'all people in I give credit to Charleston White on this, but also too, I do know these are facts. The church is never supposed to be closed. It's never supposed to be closed. It is the house of the Lord. The Lord's heart and house is always open to everybody, every lost soul.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
24 hours a day, 365 every year. You're supposed to bring more than money. You're supposed to store goods there, food, clothing. And when the community goes bad and the church needs to help somebody and stuff like that, they're able to do so. These churches aren't helping any poor people. Why you think you have all these poor people laying around? They're just taking in and not giving anything out to the community. This is crazy out here. And I know what I'm talking about. Like it or not, it's just the truth. I don't care what pastor doesn't like it, what minister doesn't like it, which church member don't like it. It is what the hell it is out here. And no, you're not going to fool me. I grew up old school in the real church where they taught fire and brimstone. If you didn't act right, you were going to be condemned. Nobody cared about your feelings. If you dealt with your feelings, you were still going to be condemned if you done something stupid and didn't repent, period. Y'all want to sit around here and act like boo-boo the fool. Yeah, I'm hot about this situation. I don't like pastors that are playing on God's time, period. It's a line for this amount of money. It's a line for that amount of money. Man, get out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. And then you wondering why real men ain't in the church no more. You wondering why real men ain't in the church no more, in a church full of a bunch of women that's being suckered out they motherfucking dollars and shit like that. Man, stop it. I'm tired. Cut it out.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Sorry for the foul language, but it's just the truth, bro. It's just the truth. It's the truth.
Bishop Marvin Winans owes that woman an apology.
Right.
I'm Frank Ski, and I'm just frankly speaking. There's a
which y'all saw at the beginning when I showed you the footage, right? He did allegedly he did apologize to her. So if she wasn't wrong, if the situation wasn't wrong, what are you apologizing for? What does he feel like he have to apologize to this woman for if he felt like he didn't do nothing wrong? Come on, babe.
A viral video on social media that is showing Bishop Marvin Winans basically chastising a woman because she brought the wrong amount of money to the altar. I want you to watch this video.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church, sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
That ain't what I asked you to do. You know, I do have a problem with that. I really do. And I understand there's going to be a lot of people saying I'm taking it out of context. But I saw the extended video and I saw his instructions, and the woman did go up at the wrong time. But her heart was in the right place.
Hold on. Oh, stop right there. What's the wrong time? And I'm going to stand 10 toes down on these. What's the wrong time to donate what you want to donate at your church home? Now, you know, Bishop Marvin could sit there all day, like I showed you in the beginning of this broadcast. Well, it was strategic lines and this and that. I didn't want these ladies standing and stuff like that. And a key word what he said was ladies. He say ladies and gentlemen standing, right? I mean, you know, he didn't say that at all. Go back and look at it. He said ladies, period. He didn't say ladies and gentlemen of the church. So, you know, he didn't want the ladies standing and this and that, and whoop the woo and stuff like that. Why is there a line to come up to the pulpit to turn in money? You're supposed to send out envelopes to your congregation for them to donate whatever they can. You're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be broadcasting the donations of your congregation.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
That's the whole thing right there. That's the whole wrongness of this whole entire situation. If we want to just break it down to brass tacks, you're not supposed to be announcing how much each individual of your congregation is giving the church.
We are in church. She is sowing a seed. And here's the biggest problem for me. I'm sorry, and nobody's talking about it. The fact that she stood up there with that young boy next to her, that little boy. I don't know if that was her son or who he was, but the little boy handed the bishop the envelope, and you chastised her in front of the little boy. I do not think that is right in the Church of God. And I think Bishop Winans owes the woman, Roberta, an apology.
And allegedly he gave it to her, but I definitely agree with this gentleman at the last little bit he just said. You know, he did shame this young man. You know, he shamed this young man and his mother or grandmother, whoever that was, to this young man. But that young man stood there proudly. That young man stood there proudly in faith to give that donation right alongside his mother, grandmother, whoever she is to him. He stood there proudly. Man, cut the crap out of her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm hot. I'm hot, bruh. I'm hot. Listen, Marvin, you full of it, bro. You and who else? Yeah, all y'all, the mega churches. I don't see how you even got a mega church anyway. You know what I'm saying? Jesus only led a flock of 12. How can you actually lead all these thousands of people? So you got time to actually, you know, sit there and listen to all these thousands of people's problems when they come to you for counsel as the pastor, as the leader of the church. You got time to listen to all them thousands of people's problems, because that's what the pastor's supposed to do. He's supposed to be able to listen to his congregation individually when they come to him for problems and answers. As the leader of the church, he's supposed to get the wisdom from God in order to, you know what I'm saying, guide his individual flock, but at the same time, though, guide the whole flock at once too. Listen, look, man, I don't know who they think they fooling out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm an old school churchy. You ain't fooling me. I've been to the conventions and stuff like that where they preach real Bible. Not this out the side of the neck talk, just collected money. This is crazy.
Says y'all took it out of context like per usual, and none of that stuff happened like y'all claimed it happened. Let's take a look at what she said.
Thank you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction, because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call, and that's all that was.
This is all damage control. No matter what he says, it does not make it any better.
Right.
Why is people lining up based on how much money they're giving?
What did I say? What did I say? All right, hold on. Let's keep going.
Imagine that. You're in church. And imagine them being like, yeah, so this is the $2,000 line. This is the $50 line. And yeah, if you got $10, your line is over there. What are we talking about? Not only that, it's been confirmed with several people commenting on my page and other pages that they've been working on this church for decades. So, like, this is Dr. Umar Johnson in the pulpit. There's nothing that makes this any better. I even seen the full clip of him explaining the dollar amount lines that he wanted. And he was even saying, if you ain't got $2,000 and you in this line, just slip out while nobody looking.
Sure did. I seen it too. Look it up. It's there. Look it up. It's there. Matter of fact, I found it and Ricky Smiley had it with his lame ass. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna do a video on that tomorrow. I'm gonna do a broadcast on that tomorrow with Ricky Smiley talking about the situation. All right, but we're gonna keep going here because this is wild, bro. This is wild. This is wild, bro. All right, let's hit this right here.
He used to be my pastor, but he's not my pastor anymore. He still is my mother's pastor, though, and I've been trying to release her from the shackles of that church. That church has been being built, and we've been told about that church since I was 4 years old. I used to go to another mega church that's in Detroit called Straight Gate. We went there for a while. Then when I was 4, my mother went to a church called Via Dolorosa. After that, we started going to Perfecting and Via Dolorosa hand in hand because my mother worked Sundays. We only started going to Perfecting if it was a Sunday she had to work and we would miss church at Via Dolorosa. But from the very beginning, me and my siblings were trying to tell my mom, like, Ma, he not using y'all money for that church. She used to tell us, leave her alone, all that. For the last 10 years, that church has been sitting on Woodward and being an eyesore. It still has the same things in it from 10 years ago. All I can say is he added windows. Okay? All he's added is windows. But I'm glad that this video is going viral and him saying what he said to the lady. Because now I'm starting to slowly release my mom from the shackles of that church. She took my kids like 2 weeks ago, and I met her up at the church during the second service to, just listen to the word and grab my children. I kid you not. Like, it's not just him. The people who go to that church act like that too. The amount of just negative people trying to talk to me because I haven't been to church in a while, it was just insanity. Yeah, but this situation, I'm finally starting to slowly release her from the shackles.
Man, this is crazy out here. This is crazy out here. Jesus, bro. This is crazy. This young lady says she's trying to release the shackles of her going to this church for all these years. And I don't care what y'all say out here. You can sit there and talk out the side of your neck. You know what I'm saying? God did warn about false prophets. It's in the Bible. But that part of the Bible, mysteriously, mysteriously, none of that part of the Bible even gets taught anymore.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
I learned that growing up in church. My father taught me that in other things that these pastors, are not preaching in church anymore. Sitting there with that prosperous preaching and, just like Joel Osteen and stuff, sitting around there, if y'all remember when they had that horrible tragedy in Texas and stuff, and he wouldn't allow those people into the church. What did I just say at the beginning of this broadcast? The doors of God's house is supposed to be open at all times. All times. For any lost soul that want to come in. Don't play with me. You're going to get played out here playing with me. Definitely on this topic, don't play with me out here. I know what I'm talking about. This is crazy. So we're going to go here now.
Video trying to add context of what led up to the disrespect that Marvin Winans showed that lady at the altar. I don't know if Marvin Winans is your friend. I don't know if that's your colleague, your buddy, whatever. If you think that video adding context is going to vindicate him from his behavior towards that woman, it did not help.
Right.
That did not make it any better. I just really want y'all to know that. I'm seeing some of y'all, celebrity friend, whatever, that did not help. And what you're doing is a very dangerous thing. What you're doing is you're normalizing religious financial abuse in the Christian church. Whether it's the black church, the white church, these mega churches, you're normalizing religious financial abuse.
Play with it. These mega churches, pastors sitting out here with jets. What do you need a jet for? What do you need a jet for? Who you going to see? Are you going to the Holy Land to preach? I mean, who you going to see with a jet? A $50 million jet. Who you going to see? And another thing too, what I mentioned earlier in this broadcast about Jesus having a certain amount in his flock that he led and he taught things to and stuff like that. And they went out and preach things to other people and stuff like that and spread the word. That's how it works. A pastor with a mega church can't effectively lead his flock. You got 20,000 people. How are you going to effectively preach to these people the true gospel when some of those people need to come to you for counseling? That's also what a pastor's job is, to counsel his flock. Not just to tell them a few words and send them off. Jesus actually counseled those 12 disciples. It wasn't just sitting around spewing a few words and they went out and spewed a few other words to everybody else. That's not how it works.
Well, yeah, I know y'all don't like what he did. You know, yeah, y'all only seen one clip, but let me show y'all the context though of what led up to the disrespect, and that should clear it up. Like, that's basically what y'all are doing.
Right.
That's basically what y'all are doing. Jesus ain't in a lot of these churches today. Jesus is not there. Understand, Jesus would flip tables on majority of these pastors today.
Woo!
So what the French toast is there to think about?
What did Jesus do when he went into what did Jesus do when he went in the church back in the day? What did he flipped the tables in the church. He did that on purpose. They was false prophets. And y'all sitting around here thinking this shit is a game, bruh. History repeats itself. And now we're back at a point to where those tables in these churches need to be flipped again. They need to be flipped. Period.
Jesus would flip tables, just like how he flipped tables at the temple protesting, right, because they turned the temple into a marketplace. That's what a lot of these black pastors and these white pastors have done. They've turned the church into a marketplace. And we got to start making it okay. We got to start normalizing holding these pastors accountable. We got to start normalizing booing these pastors. Just like how y'all boo these politicians at rallies, just like how y'all boo these singers, the rappers, performers, these comedians, because you don't like their stance on something. Y'all got to start protesting and y'all got to start booing these pastors, holding their feet to the fire. Start walking out of church. Start taking your dollars with you. If we want to talk about accountability, it starts at the church first. It starts at the head first. How can we tackle accountability all around the outside of church, but we're not trying to tackle accountability from the head, from the top to the bottom? It starts with the church first, and then we can work our way outside.
Right. Because the church used to be the backbone of the community, definitely the black community. That's the reason why we were able to achieve so much throughout history, even doing slavery, things like that. We had our church. We had spiritual togetherness as a black people. And now we don't have it anymore. And this is the reason why our community is in chaos. Our mindsets are screwed up collectively as a whole, and we don't have the families and things like that we're supposed to. This is crazy out here. I'm sad to see that this situation is going down within the church. It's definitely growing up in the church and remembering a day and time when pastors and ministers and things like that, when acting like this, trying to separate people inside the house of God based on how much money you giving and shit like that. This is crazy out here. This is crazy. Man, this is disrespectful. And yes, I am hot because I grew up in the church and I know what the real meaning of God is. And this is not it right here. All these prosperity preachers sitting around here getting rich off all these women sitting up in the church, being manipulated and totally disrespected. They didn't already push the men out. That's the reason why they got full free range on the women and the babies in the church. Like it or not, I said it. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.